Needless to say, I think a lot of people are kind of looking at Sony in a different light over the past, year or so. Clearly, with the way they've been acting, the way that they've been behaving, I just honestly feel like fans and gamers and the media, I just think that a lot of people see Sony in a very different light now, and I think that is something that realistically needs to be a thing. You have to be held accountable for what you're doing. I feel like what Sony's done recently has been very much anti-consumer and very much something that I feel like, shouldn't have been anywhere near the headlines. Like Sony has won so many console generations, and they win over gamers and all this kind of stuff, and I'm questioning that, because we're for the players, this, that, and the other thing, and then when you look at it, they're really not. So how much do you really have to be a jerk to be called out like this? And this is very interesting to me, and I can't wait to get into it. It should be a very fun video. I always love these types of videos, and I think you guys do too. So let's go ahead and get into it. What's up, everybody? The Crap Gamer here with Crap Gamer Reviews, back with yet another fun video, fun-filled, action-packed video. Thank you guys for watching. Slap the like button, give me a liking, thumb it. Let's get going, huh? Should be a very, very good video, like I said earlier. Now, listen, Sony, they'll continue to do some things. They'll continue to be a force in video games. But for this, I found to be very interesting, because I'm not a Bobby Kotick guy. Like, one of the things that's going to happen when Kotick is gone, or when Microsoft buys Activision, Kotick is gone. Yes, he's going to be even richer than he is right now. But at the end of the day, that's going to be well worth it to see that he's no longer there, no longer the guy. And for him, he's talking about Sony's disappointing behavior. So how much of a dick do you have to be called out by this guy, right? This guy's kind of a scumbag himself. So, Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick has claimed that Sony's bid to thwart the Call of Duty makers' sale to Microsoft won't be held against them in the long term. Because a lot of people were assuming, well, what if this thing fails? Will this happen? Will Activision not put Call of Duty on PlayStation anymore? There's a lot of things that people were kind of questioning, and when I look at this, I go, well, it is a very interesting prospect. But they're saying, no, we're not going to really hold it against them, blah, blah, blah. But in an email sent to Activision employees, Kotick provided an update on the status of the deal, and he called Sony's recent behavior very disappointing. His message referenced Sony's recent claim that Microsoft could release deliberately buggy versions of Call of Duty games on PlayStation consoles should it acquire Activision, which was always a completely asinine thing. I do not understand why that would be something that they would be accused of. Like, that wouldn't make any sense, right? You're gonna do your best, put out a game, and then all of a sudden make it buggier on one thing when you're trying to get as many sales and people playing as you can. But anyway, what he went on to say was, we all know our passionate players would be the first to hold Microsoft accountable for keeping its promises of content and quality parity. And all of us who work so hard to deliver the best games in our industry care too deeply about our players to ever launch a subpar version of our game. For its part, obviously, Microsoft has claimed that it has offered Sony a 10-year legally enforceable contract to make each new Call of Duty game available on PlayStation the same day it comes to Xbox, with full content and feature parity. Now, last month, Activision Blizzard's EVP of Corporate Affairs and CCO Lulu Cheng claimed that President Jim Ryan of Sony told Microsoft and Activision, and I quote, "I don't want a new Call of Duty deal, I just want to block your merger." So again, very interesting that could be happening, and I'll just take you back real quick, because Lulu Cheng had this to say, and this was from earlier this month. Microsoft offered Sony, the dominant console leader for well over a decade with 80% market share, a 10-year agreement on far better terms than Sony would ever get from us. We've also offered Sony guaranteed long-term access to Call of Duty, but they keep refusing. Why? The CEO of Sony answered that question in Brussels in his words, "I don't want a new Call of Duty deal, I just want to block your merger." So again, like, how bad do you gotta be to be called out by this guy? It really does not matter what happens. Like, obviously, I think that this is going to be something that Microsoft is going to get past, and I've always kind of steadfast stuck by that I think that this is going to pass. But Sony, Kotick also seemingly referenced this comment in an email. Sony has even admitted that they aren't actually concerned about Call of Duty. They would just like to prevent our merger from happening, he wrote. This is obviously disappointing behavior from a partner for almost 30 years, but we will not allow Sony's behavior to affect our long-term relationship. PlayStation players know we will continue to deliver the best games possible on Sony's platforms as we have since the launch of PlayStation. Kotick's update on the deal noted that significant hurdles have recently been cleared, as last week the UK's Competition Markets Authority, or the CMA, said it no longer believed the acquisition would significantly reduce competition in gaming space. The watchdog said on Friday that it has updated its provisional findings about receiving fresh evidence that alleviated its concerns about the deal. Most notably, the worry that Microsoft would make Call of Duty an Xbox exclusive. And while the CMA originally believed that making Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox could be commercially beneficial for Microsoft, it said that new data had it received indicates that the strategy would be significantly loss-making under any plausible scenario. And earlier as well, and I've covered this in a different video, Japan's competition regulator concluded that it has no issue with Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard, meaning it will not seek to block the deal. I don't really think that they could anyway, but again, we see that this is like something that's happening, and Microsoft is in such a good place right now. You absolutely love to see this type of stuff, and for Kotick to go out there and call out Sony, I think that that's something that is very, very interesting, because you wouldn't really expect it. So yeah, like, so crazy to see all this happen, and we're going to be seeing a lot of things happen in the future. So honestly, I'm disappointed in what Sony can do. Maybe one day I'll get over it too. I know people think I must be acting like a baby or something, but at the end of the day, you've got to really kind of question Sony at this point. Like, what in the world were they thinking? I don't get that whole argument that they had in the first place. Just kind of, I think it came off more as like jealousy to me than anything else. So I guess we'll see what happens. But again, I think that everything will probably go back to normal for the most part, except for the part that Microsoft owns Call of Duty and these games. I think that we're going to continue to see everything kind of ebb and flow the way that it has recently, and we'll see how the future lies. Hopefully Microsoft can continue to deliver some good stuff, Sony can deliver some good stuff, and everybody will kind of get on with their lives, so to speak. Because I know it's been a very challenging year, and a lot of people, myself included, just ready to kind of move on. And that's exactly what should happen. So take a minute to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, slap them up, crap gamer them up. Thanks you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the article below if you want all the details of where I got the story. Crap Gamer out.